Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm back with another replay that I took from the front page of Drop.sc. I want to say this is one of those, I guess you could say, fanboy dreams kind of replays, and by fanboy dreams, I mean someone who not downloads, but instead uploads a replay to Drop.sc because they faced a player that they like, or a player that is essentially a pro. And I'm no exception to that. I did that with Scarlet before, but let me go ahead and give you the rundown on this replay. It's going to be between, I want to say this is our uploader on the left side of the screen, RobbyG, playing as Terran, and IdrA playing as Zerg. Of course, I went ahead and gave them their introductions already, so let's just go ahead and talk about the map and all that good stuff, and maybe get some of that bloggy style stuff underway for the YouTube cast. I know it's kind of egotistical to talk about oneself, but I don't know. I mean, I've talked about the IEM Shanghai and all the Chinese events that are developing that are on the horizon in the near future, but I just feel like there's almost nothing else to talk about. Well, I guess I'll just give you the bloggy thing, what I've done with my day so far. I actually wanted to go donate plasma, but I didn't because, well, I went to the place and there was just too many people there. I would have easily been out in about 3 hours, and I was gonna go see a movie with my girlfriend at 7, so right now, as I am casting this, it is on the verge of 6 o'clock, 5:52 Central U.S. time zone. And so that's the whole reason why I didn't go to donate plasma. Map we're on today is Star Station. Force cross position spawns. Looks as though IdrA is not gonna send out a drone scout. Perfectly alright, because even to this point it seems that RobbyG is doing a perfectly ordinary opener, and I would just want to note for now that there's no good luck, have fun. Well, there's a have fun from Robbie, but not a good luck. The news today, I guess you could talk about, I guess we could go ahead and talk about some more first world problems. Basically, I've lost access to the twitch.tv account that I use for streaming the Asia Starcraft League, the Neo TV Star League, and the, what's the word I'm looking for, the WCG with, as well as a bunch of other big name events. TESL Replay is not an exception. And I'm basically waiting for my contact who lives in Hong Kong to wake up, kick on his computer, see if he can get me the password and all that good stuff, because tomorrow I'm gonna be waking up to do a free cast and it's just not gonna be pretty. So yeah, that's about what I've got so far. And it looks as though IdrA's gonna follow up his first spawning pool, excuse me, his first hatchery with a spawning pool and a gas. So that's gonna give him link speed and allow him to assert his dominance over the map. Robbie, however, is going for 1 Rax Expo because, of course, we see that he's not going for gas, and of course he has floating 400 minerals. Basically a no-brainer. And our Stimless Marine came over here, jumped on that Zelnaga Watchtower. I'm not sure if you saw that Overlord or not over here, but this is basically going to give IdrA the vision that he needs to know what is coming at him. Except for these Marines that are moving across the map right now. There is no bunker in construction. There's not going to be any silly shenanigans happening either. Well, I take that back. There could be some shenanigans, as RobbyG did just see there was an Overlord, and he put his one Marine here into attack mode. And this is super high level play, guys. This is what happens when you're in Masters League. IdrA goes ahead and corrects the path of that one Overlord. And ooh, it looks like he's actually gonna lose that. Yep, poor guy. Just pops like a balloon full of creep, Zerg jelly, if you will. And the question is also to be asked, what else are the Marines going to try and do here on the map? They're just going to go back, it looks like. And these Lings are going to see if they could probably try and avenge that one Overlord that the Swarm has lost. And so far, this is actually putting IdrA just a teeny bit behind. I think he accounted to lose that Overlord once it was first under attack. Maybe he knew there would have been a second Marine chasing after that first one. I think it would be a common problem to face on the ladder, really. Behind this, IdrA has Metabolic Boost and just drones in production. He's going to try and control the map, and that's about it here. He's going to see a bunch of Marines here, so perhaps he thinks that this is a bio follow-up. That is not an erroneous assessment right now, as we do see a reactor going on to our barracks over here, and a tech lab way back here. But what are we going to see? Okay. I see. I was going to say, what else are we going to see from Robbie It looks like he's just going to go with Widow Mine, Marine composition, at least for the early game. It looks like IdrA's just going to pop in here with those lings, see what's up, and just stay camping right here. Chilling. A starport in construction as well, so this is kind of a, I guess you could say, a supplemental 1-1-1 build, but I think this could be some kind of a... It's possible that this is a stim drop timing, but I don't know. It's possible, but I question whether or not it's plausible. Excuse me. We do have about 75. No. 90 seconds to go until that stim is finished. So that's going to be a minute and a half in game time. That means the soonest he'll be able to stim his Marines is at 8:30, more or less. So let's just see whether or not that medevac is going to be ready to go with its stim and everything else in between. Behind this, IdrA's getting ready to start saturating his third, and he's not quite aware of just what his opponent is doing just yet. He hasn't sacked that Overlord. He's just got to contain here. I think he knows it's going to be Marine Widow Mine somehow. Like, that's just what it screams to me right now. Looks like he pulled 3 lings back home to go ahead and start working away at those rocks. I'm not sure what it is that builds... Like, I'm not sure what it is that bothers everybody about that neutral supply depot, which is what it was in the Wings of Liberty days, as opposed to the unbuildable plates or unbuildable rocks. Now, we do have a spore crawler going down at each base, and that medevac is moving out. And 10 seconds until stim is ready to go. IdrA has no Marines ready to go present, or excuse me, he has no Zerglings ready to go presently. These 2 queens are going to get caught out in the open. No energy on them for a transfuse. Now there's 2 queens coming to the party and a bit in the way of lings. And I don't think... Oh, man. IdrA's just going to lose all 3 of those queens and some drones, possibly. No, actually, he pulls them, but I'm thinking there's not going to be any hope for these Marines to actually kill that third. It says, you have no idea what you're doing, do you? And now it looks like the drones are actually being the subject of RobbyG's affection. Marines were taken care of. The third is just about finishing up for RobbyG behind this. And if we check the worker count, it's 47 to 46, but of course our Zerg will be able to get his drone count up just a little bit faster than that of Robby. However, that's not to say income won't be higher for Robby. It certainly is. Or certainly will be once that third orbital command is landed and ready to go, because of course the mule count will be basically, well, about 1/2 larger, 1.5 times larger than it was previously. IdrA tacking on a 4th hatch, getting +1 melee, +1 carapace, and going to layer attack. Now this ling did catch on to that orbital command. Oh, wait a minute, it's actually turning into a planetary fortress. Yes, how quaint of me to make that mistake. I was thinking that since it was on the high ground, it's eventually going to be turned into an orbital command, but this is the ultra safest way for a Terran to go. Sometimes this is followed up immediately with a 4th command center to be turned into an orbital command, and then get the mule count higher on the 3rd. But as long as this planetary is here, it will be able to make SCVs, which are, I want to say at this stage, pretty okay. IdrA has a booming economic lead right now over his opponent because, of course, he didn't opt to go with that orbital command. Instead, he went with a planetary fortress. Viking's going to come over here and just shoo away the overlords. And the question is, how is IdrA going to engage this in the near future? His army supply is fractional compared to that of his Terran opponent. His upgrades 2-2 are already on the way. 1-1's finished for Terran, but 2-2 is yet to be started. And now we have this Viking coming out and just popping a bunch of overlords like balloons, really. And the 4th hatchery is just about to get done here. Excuse me, the 4th base for IdrA is just about to get done there. And he's got to time this out perfectly, because right now I believe his army supply is much, much lower than that of his opponent. And yes, it is. It's looking like we're going to have Robby kind of try and move out here and put on some real hurt. And drilling claws are being researched behind this, so Robby's going to be able to be a teeny bit more aggressive with those Widow Mines. And it looks like he's going to get some Baneling connections here. That's not going to be the best. Look, a huge clump of them just detonated without hitting anything. But now both players' supply counts are about even. We have IdrA just a little bit higher. I don't know. He's borderlining the supply count of his opponent. He's got a couple of Overseers in the mix, which means he'll be able to spot those Widow Mines on creep. But this is rather interesting. It's looking like we have Robbie just kind of clumping them up in groups of 2, sort of. And the Mutas are coming into the mix. They have to be especially careful because if IdrA loses all those Mutas, he's dead. He's done for. He really is. There's no other way to say it. These Banelings not really making super efficient connections. The Mutas, I don't know. It's not the best engagement I've ever seen, but it's not the worst at the same time. Both players just playing that tug-of-war, pushing back and forth. Widow Mines, kind of, they made a good connection there with those few Banelings. And the Mutas here won't be able to get that one. Oh, they will, actually. I'm sorry. I called that out wrong. I forgot to account for the extra damage that was done. Since IdrA is about to lose this other Overseer here, he's going to go ahead and make one more and some more Overlords as well. He's actually kind of supply blocked presently, but I think overall this is slowly but surely going in favor of IdrA. It's just going to depend on how things go in the near future. Behind this, Robbie's going for his own 4th base. IdrA's just now getting his kind of saturated. The gas income is kind of treacherous. Those are for some pretty good Ling connections with the Widow Mines. He meant to throw away just a cluster of 2 or 3 at a time to get those Marines. And now it looks like we're going to have IdrA enter that phase of the game where he can just push back like a boss. In just a moment. There he is. Oh no, but that Thor came into the mix. That was a hammer in the plans of IdrA. Excuse me, a wrench thrown into the plans of IdrA. Now the question is, how's this next engagement going to go? It's going to be ultra critical because our Terran doesn't have his 4th base already. And there we are. Beautiful surround. Widow Mine connection. Pretty okay. Doesn't kill all the Mutas, but gets a good deal of them into yellow health. IdrA has to be really careful here. He's going to lose all of his Mutas if he doesn't pull back, and he does. So now we have 32, 30, 10 10 Lings on the way, and 3 Mutas on the way as well. IdrA's supply not quite hustling and bustling, and it looks as though RobbyG is actually going to have a chance to throw down his 4th base. If that gets established successfully, he pulled back for the time being, but the question is, does IdrA know it? He has to see that this is his chance to retaliate. It really is. 158 supply to 152, both players neck and neck. If either side of this map makes just one mistake, that's it. GG, game over. And it looks like, oh no, IdrA's flying straight into all this bio with his Mutas. The Widow Mines do burrow, and they unburrow now. More Banelings morphing right under the vision of Robbie, and it looks like this, I don't know, the Banelings just trying to make the connections to the Marines that they can, and the leftover Mutas just are not quite apt enough to deal with the Thor on the ground. Banelings finishing up and pulling back towards creep. And now IdrA's looking like he's gonna have to go on the defensive here in just a minute. Yeah, his supply, it's so borderline that of his opponents. It really is. He's got a 5th base up and running behind this, but he doesn't have any economy on it. It's gonna be there for a macro hatch in that regards. Speaking of macro, he really needs to get that that queen count up. Oh man, and IdrA's now engaging from the underhand here with 140 supply to 147. Some Banelings connected with that Thor, not quite the way you want things to go in ZVT. But here we go, IdrA's pushing back. And the Marines are mopped up by the Mutas. But no, IdrA's going to fly it into this huge ball of Marines. Oh, that just didn't quite work out. Okay, so now we have more streams of reinforcements coming from Robbie and simultaneously more coming from IdrA. From just about every direction on the map. And it looks like maybe, just maybe, this will go well for him. He's going to get that Widow Mine out of position before it burrows. No! Oh man, and speaking of, one of them connects with the Mutas. Another good connection by RobbyG, and this is just one of those borderline, it's anybody's game kind of replays, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Now the Marine reinforcements are being mopped up slowly but surely, and still this is anybody's game. The question is just, whose is it going to be? IdrA has just a handful of Mutas left. He's morphing more, and he's getting Ultralist Tech behind this. Just so you all know, this game was actually played less than an hour and 30 minutes ago. So I did download it for that novelty purpose, if you will. Ultralisk Cavern, come on, we need you. And the drones actually need to be pulled here and put onto, say, the 4th base, perhaps. Widow Mine's kind of burrowing here, not going to make great connections. But, oh man, IdrA's got to be super careful there. This non-stop stream of Marines coming across the map. We actually have RobbyG making 13 at a time. His +3/+3 is just about to finish up, and that's going to make a huge difference with this push as IdrA is below in supply. He's banking a little bit in the way of gas, but now he's got Ultras on the way. 2 of them, they're going to be ready to go in about 55 seconds altogether, but I don't know if this is actually going to go IdrA's way or not. Here we go. Those drones, they're hungry for minerals, and they're going to come over here. Marines kind of moving out on creep, asserting some dominance, and that's going to kind of separate IdrA from his 4th base here. The mutas are just going to come down here and see if they can keep anything from moving in there in small numbers. And RobbyG is kind of doing a good job of baiting IdrA for the time being. He says, if this isn't proof that T is overpowered, I don't know what is. But he's kind of hesitant to engage for the time being. You literally don't know how to play. Well, it sounds like on a scale from 1 to IdrA, this guy's pretty mad. Alright, the Baneling's trying to connect, and IdrA's trying to go for the engagement. I don't know if it's going to work out for him or not. It looks like these Marines targeting down the Overseers, and that's it. IdrA just leaves the game after everything else he had was basically mopped up and destroyed. Okay, well, now we see the danger of ZVT on this map, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys liked what you saw here, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.